The Correctional Services Department denies claims that Senzo Meyiwa murder trial accused Fisokuhle Ntuli was tortured at Kgosi Mampuru prison. He is one of the 5 men charged with the 2014 murder of the soccer star. Newzroom Afrika's Linda Mnisi joining us now to talk us through what went on in court today. Linda, good evening to you. Let's start with the accused being given the opportunity to state his story about claims of torture in prison. Surely that stood out today. For the first time, one of these spoke in court.
Yeah, well, not necessarily the first time, but, you know, in that kind of detail, really. But indeed, Fisokuhle Ntuli, who is the alleged coordinator, you know, according to the state, of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, telling the court that he's being tortured. And this torture started during recess. He was moved to the CMAX prison, or the CMAX Center, which is basically the maximum facility at the Kgosi Mampuru prison. And there, he says, during the torture, they've taken his bed sheets and they make him bath in cold water and all of those. And it follows claims, you know, that he was found with a cell phone during a raid. Now, a correctional services head, or the head of the CMAX prison, was called to come and give the court an understanding of where these allegations are coming from. And he tells the court that on the 8th of July this month, earlier this month, there was a raid wherein the commissioner, the National Commissioner of Correctional Services, was there. And during the raid, Fisokuhle Ntuli was found with a cell phone, and he was then moved to the CMAX facility. Now, Fisokuhle Ntuli got an opportunity. In fact, it was a request that came from his lawyer, Advocate Zandile Mshololo, who asked the court if he could address the court on what it is that he has experienced. This would be information that comes directly from the person himself. And Fisokuhle Ntuli says the allegation that he was found with a cell phone is not true. In fact, he has complained about this torture to this head of the facility, or the head of the center, a number of times, and has not received a response. Even, you know, got the assistance of, you know, JICS, which is the Judicial Inspectorate for Correctional Services. You know, it's led by the
Justice Cameron.
Justice Cameron, yes. And they too have not received, according to Fisokuhle Ntuli, a response from the head of the center himself. And he says, you know, the only thing that was found in his cell was a TV, which he said belongs to the center and moves around. Now, that was taken away, and the understanding was that the person who has the permits would then come and collect that TV. He said nothing was found in his facility. And now he's being tortured. They're taking his clothes. They've taken bed sheets. They're not allowing him to make calls, you know, to his legal representative. Let's take a listen to how he put it.
From the 9th,
he was placed to the CMAX till today.
do you have problems at CMAX?
Yes, my lord, I do have quite a lot of challenges, no problems.
What are they?
Ngiyahlukumezeka
lapana ukosenkantolo ngoba ngishuthi ngafike ngathathelwa ingubo nginqatshela ukufona.
He's being tortured. They know that he mentioned that he is denied to make a cell phone or a telephone call, and then they took his blankets.
Ngigeziswa ngamanzi abandayo.
And then they make him to bath with cold water.
Okay.
So that's Fisokuhle Ntuli. And I think, Linda, it would be remiss of us as journalists to not tell the South African public that this is someone who's already serving time for other crimes that he has been found guilty of. And this is certainly one of South Africa's most hardened criminals. And therefore, some people would say he actually deserves to be taken to one of the strictest areas of the prison. What did the judge say about his complaints?
Well, Oli, despite his, criminal history, you would know that the Constitution of South Africa makes provision for human rights to be observed in all the facilities. And that is why you would have, institutions or organizations like JICS who ensure, or whose mandate it is to ensure that the rights of inmates are protected and that the law is followed at all times and that their rights are respected. So when the prison officials look at him, it does not matter how much time he's serving. What matters is whether or not his rights are being protected at that particular time. So this was a tussle of basically versions between him and the head of the CMAX, because he says, when he left this morning, he in fact had an opportunity to see his blankets. He says he had 3 blankets and a sheet, but according to Fisokuhle Ntuli, those were taken away from him. And even when he comes back from prison, from court rather, and asked to make a call, he's not allowed to. He's told, but you know that you're not allowed to make a call. He's now asked that he be moved to a maximum facility in Lokop, where he believes he will not encounter all of these problems. Because at the heart, Oli, what is interesting about what he says is that, this is some sort of decoy, because there's another prisoner who was found on the phone at the CMAX prison, and they now changed him and moved him from that facility, and they've placed him, trying to pin him to this alleged phone that was discovered. Now, the judge says, in the interest of, the case and moving on with the case, because, of course, there were talks of an application that would need to be made in order for him to be moved. He would then rule that he be moved to the local prison where he will be kept. This is the same prison where accused number 4, Mthokoziseni Mapisa, is kept at. The judge also taking note of the fact that he may not necessarily have authority to make this order, but of course will deliver this order, which will then be attached to a letter that would be sent by all the parties, including the state, to the facilities to say, well, look, this is what the court has, this order that has been made. This particular inmate will then be moved to Lokop. It's unclear of the duration of when he will be in Lokop for, but as you would know, he specifically made reference to this particular trial being able to move forward. So he then made that ruling, and I want us to take a listen to what he had to say.
Tonight he goes to CMAX, and then tomorrow, as from tomorrow, he starts from here, and when he goes out, he goes to Leopold.
Yes, my lord, that's my plea.
So that you can do the transfer properly.
Correct, my lord.
Where's
My lord, once more, Mr. Ntuli has raised
Yes,
up
sir.
his hand.
Ngiyacela ke uma kuwukuthi inkosi enkantolo ithi angiyolala lapha ibatsheleke bangangishisa wabayongishisa namhlanje mangabe ngiyolala namhlanje bazongithuthara ngalento yabo ogesi bazongishisa mangabe ngiyolala lapha ngoba inkosi enkantolo isikhulume kanjena.
My lord, the accused person is asking the court, it is his humble request that he must not be taken back to Kgosi Mampuru tonight, because of if he is taken back to Kgosi Mampuru, they are going to torture him with that light.
All right, so as you heard there, he fears also being electrocuted if he spends another night at that facility. So those engagements then happened after that ruling was handed down. But you'd recall that this is the second time this week complaints of alleged torture are coming out from Kgosi Mampuru prison. Earlier this week, you'd recall the issue around the shield pads being barred from all the accused, which we were told affected accused number 3 and accused number 5, the very same accused that we're talking about now. And this, of course, and this order prompted a response from Correctional Services, which they believe, are claims that are misleading. Singabako Ngomalo releasing a statement this afternoon, and I want us to take a listen to what he had to say.
On the 8th of July 2025, during a search operation we can confirm as a department that inmate Fisokuhle Ntuli was found in possession of a mobile phone, an item which is strictly prohibited within our correctional facilities. He was questioned and he admitted to ownership and the usage of that particular gadget. As a department, we have noticed a disturbing trend where offenders weaponize human rights discourse to shield themselves from consequences of wrongdoing. They do so with dishonesty, something which is an insult into the very same principles of justice and fairness. As correctional services will not be deterred from our duties in terms of ensuring discipline, safety, and upholding the rule of law within our correctional facilities. It was therefore necessary that inmate Ntuli be transferred to CMAX due to the reclassification that had to be conducted at the end of that particular search operation.
All right, Linda Mnisi, thank you very much for that update. It remains to be seen how then the court, alongside correctional services, are going to work together basically to try and ameliorate this. But the understanding is that a court does continue tomorrow.
Absolutely, it does continue tomorrow, but of course there will be a big development tomorrow in the sense that the state will hand up likely the last bit of the exhibits and it'll close its case. So tomorrow, after 2 years of this trial running under Judge Rata Mokgoatleng, it recall it started around July 2023, the state will finally be closing its case and the ball will now be on the accused court.
Interesting indeed. So big day tomorrow.